going to be showing you a marble design that you can do that is very easy. It's done with poppets, and I'm using the Double Dip Classic Polygel Kit. And this one is on their website. It is a kit. It comes with everything I showed you. And if you're interested, not only do they have this color combination, but they do have other ones. And I have 40% off of any of those kits running for the next 2 weeks. The code will be in the description box below. If you do use that code, I do earn a small commission, so thank you for that. Otherwise, I hope you guys like this design. You'll get to see me work on a model, which I very rarely do, so that's kind of interesting. And I will see you all next time. Bye!
So here's the kit that I'm going to be showing you guys. It is Bellavena Dallas, which is also Double Dips. That's their like gel side. That's like the gel part of their company. So here's a little guide that they came with that shows the different nail shapes, as well as a little tape measure for your nails if you wanted to measure their width, which, you know, if you wanted to use that, that's a nice little handy tool. Otherwise, here are the colors. And then they do have a little instruction manual for how to apply the gel. If that is something that you kind of like to have a visual, that's also nice. Otherwise, here's the colors. There is a cover pink, black, white, a cover lavender, a gold glitter, and then a cover peach. All of those cover colors apply very nicely, and they look absolutely gorgeous and would be perfect for French tips. Then the rest of the box itself, keep the box. It's really nice. It has a little magnet in it, clasps close, beautiful box. Then we're going to be looking at the other stuff in here. So it comes with a little lamp, perfect for flash curing a single nail at a time. It opens up if you want it to be standing up. Whenever I'm using something like that, I like to hold it. I prefer personally the flash cure flashlights, but that would be a good alternative. They have the slip solution in a bottle. There are some rhinestones. There's pink, blue, silver, and black. They are really nicely faceted, super clear, look beautiful. They don't have that little, sometimes when you get rhinestones, they have like a little plastic excess like knob on the sides. These ones do not have that. Container is a little hard to open for me. Most people, it probably wouldn't be. I have difficulties with these things. Base coat, top coat. It did come with 2 nail clips so that after you have the dual form pressed onto the nail with the product inside of it, you can clip it in place to hold it there while it is curing so it doesn't slide around. That is something that I would say is personal preference if you want to use or not. I used it for one and I didn't use it for the rest, but I was doing it on somebody else and not myself, and that could very well make a difference. It came with a 2-sided brush, the little tweezers that I use for all sorts of things. I love those little tweezers. You can never have enough. And then a box of the dual forms. So I'm going to open those up. One thing I do want to mention is that these dual forms are really nice and flexible, so they do conform to the nail nicely. They're not super stiff like some of them that I have tried in the past, but they do not have any of the little guide form grid inside of them, which if you do use that, these don't have that. I personally never really pay attention to those on nail forms or on these or anything else. I just kind of sculpt to where my heart feels like it wants to sculpt to. So it wasn't a big deal for me, but if that was something that would make a difference to you, I want you to know. So there's how it would look with the clip on there, flash cure it. So here is my little nail model's hand. We're going to begin by cleansing these nails, applying a nail dehydrator, a prep solution, or a primer, and then a base coat. When you are applying the base coat, make sure you are applying a very thin coat, as thin as you can get it. You still want to be able to see some nail texture if there is any. Some people don't have any, but if there's a little nail texture, you want to be able to see that through the base coat. Your product will adhere better with a thin coat versus a thick coat. Now we're going to fit the dual form. Incredibly, for this finger, I got the right size dual form on the first try. And then I'm going to start grabbing my colors. To make the marble nail, I'm going to grab the white. And these are semi-sheer. They're not clear by any means, but they're a little bit of a cloudy texture to them, which actually marbles better than they would if they were opaque. I'm going to grab a dab of white, a dab of black, and then a little dab of gold. I'm going to mix them once or twice. Do not mix them more than just that. So there's the first time, there's a second time, and then that's it. After you have them mixed a few times, you can grab a scoop of the gel and you can press it or kind of like swipe it to the inside of the dual form. Then using your brush, you are going to start pressing it out. You dip your brush first in slip solution and then start pressing it out. Missed a step there. So you're going to saturate your brush and then you can start pressing it out. One thing to keep in mind when you are doing this for this marble design is that you want to be a little aware of how your marble is looking. Obviously, if after you swiped your gel in, all the black was on one side, all the white is on the other side, which if you did stir it that twice, probably will not be the case, but you may want to manipulate the pattern just a little bit. The other thing to keep in mind is you want to pay attention to the pattern that's on the outside of the nail, not the inside. After you have that done, you can press this onto the nail, press it, and then if there's any bits that kind of ooze out from the sides, you're going to want to catch those with your brush and swipe them away or blend them down. After you have it nice and blended, then you can put the clip on. If you want to, flip the hand over and you can start pulling the buildup of gel from the underside of the nail and pull that out. After you have that completed and you have it all nice and pulled out, cure fully. Once it's been fully cured for 60 seconds, then you can wiggle the dual form back and forth to have it pop off. For the next one, we're going to be encapsulating the flowers, and I'm going to start with a very, very thin coat of a clear acrygel. So this clear, you want it to be as thin as you possibly can get it, so that'll mean really, really, really pressing it out. Make sure you use a pretty good amount of pressure with your brush to get it as thin as possible. You don't want any holes in it. You want it to make sure it's a nice, thin, even coat. Press some flowers into there. I'm going to be using some teal flowers. I have a whole little flower I'm going to be using and then a larger flower petal. I'm just going to press those in, really make sure that they get down all the way, press them in with my brush. That brush has no product on it. It's just got a little bit of the slip solution to really press those flowers in. After that, I'm going to be grabbing the colors that I want behind the flowers. So that's going to be that peachy color. I'm going to apply that towards the tip of where the nail will be, and then press that out and cover up the flowers. So the flowers are going to be sandwiched between 2 layers of acrygel. You want to make sure that they are fully covered, both on the front of it where they have the clear and on the back of the nail or the underside where they have this background color, which for me is going to be peach at the tip and then a glitter behind the flowers near the cuticle area. When you're pressing out this layer, you want to just make sure that you aren't disturbing the flower position as you go. They should be really stuck down in there, so you shouldn't have to worry about them too much and getting messed up, but just keep that in mind that you aren't moving them around or anything where they would get messed up on the front. Then you're going to grab this and you're going to press it on just like you did the first one, kind of just position it, press it down. Some gel will most likely ooze out. And then after that has happened, you're going to want to take your brush and just smooth that down and get it nice and just concealed, or not concealed, but blended into the natural nail. Flip it over. If it needs to be smoothed out on the other side at all, go ahead and do that. If it doesn't, it doesn't. After you have it on, go ahead and cure it. Like I said, I only use the clip for the first one. I didn't use the clip at all for the rest of them. Personal preference. If the clip works for you, great. If it doesn't, it isn't necessary. I'm going to wiggle it, pop it off. Beautiful. I'm also going to pop off this one that I did too. Now we get to do the next one. So for this one, I'm going to do a full nail of just the peachy color, and you'll see how beautiful it is for French tips. Depending on the person, obviously different skin tones look better, especially skin undertones look better with different colors as their cover color. And so for this one, especially with that teal, the cover peachy color is the best. The reason I said with the teal is because a peach or an orange and a teal are going to be on opposite sides of the color wheel, or at least distanced from each other on the color wheel. So they will make each other look brighter and more vibrant if you put them together, which is what we're doing here. We're going to be pressing this one onto the nail, press it down, smooth it out. In general, a single color nail is going to be easier to do with a poppet than something that's got different layers and different colors to it and encapsulations. So if you've never done poppets before, I would highly recommend you start with just a single color and then move on to these crazy things. So now we're going to file these into shape. Like I said, or maybe I didn't, she wanted stiletto. So we're going to be reshaping these into a stiletto shape. And then after I have the free edge shaped, which is going to be the first order of business, then I'm going to take and I'm going to just smooth out the cuticle area and make sure that that looks beautiful and smooth and even. The other thing I would like to mention is that dual forms in general give the nail a curve like a nail tip would, not the same look as a form would give you. So and especially for like a stiletto, normally you would want them to be nice and super straight. There are a lot of people though that prefer a curved stiletto. And if that's the case, this might be a great way for you to do it if you don't like to do it with tips. After they have all been shaped, I'm going to buff the ones that are getting the French tip so they are no longer shiny. And then with a teal color gel polish, I'm going to be painting one side of a V-shaped French tip. So just like a one section going down like a thick parallel wide stripe. With that color, I'm going to start out with the bottle brush, and then I'll use a little nail art brush to kind of perfect the shape. Then using the Bellavena striper tools, or the striper brush gel art set, which I can put a link to in the description box below. I'm going to use the black one to create 2 lines, one outlining the teal area and then one going in the opposite direction, intersecting with the teal area, just like so. After those 2 lines have been drawn in, you can go ahead and cure. And then I'm going to use the gold striper from that set, and I'm going to be adding a gold line right above to finish off the V-shaped French tip. After that's been done, I'm going to be grabbing the Bellavena gel top coat and I'm going to be applying a thin coat over all of the nails. You really get to see how pretty that marble is after you apply the top coat. The cool thing with dual forms though is as you pop them off, they still are super shiny. But after you file them and buff them, if you're going to be filing and buffing them or whatever it is that you have to do to finish them, it just is always satisfying to apply that last layer of top coat and have the satisfaction of seeing all the shine come to life. Here's her thumb. So pretty. She was absolutely in love with this set, as am I, and it was so fun to just have the opportunity to play around and do some techniques that I personally have never done. I've never done a marble in a dual form before, nor have I encapsulated flowers, so it was some new experiences and I loved it. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know and ask, and I will see you all next time. Bye!